in the east, there's a mist coming in, like something is brewing and about to begin. Can't put me finger on what lies in store, but I feel what's to happen all happened before. A father, a mother, a daughter, a son. The threads of their lives are all wrapped undone. Something is needed to twist them as tight as a string you might use when you're flying a kite. Chim chimney, chim chim, cherry chim cherry.
Hurry up, Jane! Let's run! Come back here, you little blighters! You've got to do your lesson. I can't do my lessons if I'm flying a kite. If you can't make it, you'll be a name!
Come on, my house. I'm here. Morning, Bert.
Morning, Miss Lark. And how's little Willoughby be doing today?
I'm very well, thank you, Bert.
By Jove, is that the beauteous Miss Lark I spy on the horizon?
Morning, Admiral. How's it looking?
Dark clouds gathering in number 17. Storm warnings overdue.
Are all London's byways where I doff me cap? This one's the hardest to find on a map. Cherry Tree Lane, as sweet as a song, but the nannies who come here, they don't stay for long. Chim chimney, chim chim, cherry chim chim.
Katie Nana! Katie Nana! Those little beasts have run away from me for the last time.
And who gets stuck with the children when there's no nanny in the house? Me, that's who.
I said my say, Mrs. Brill, and that's all I'll say. I'm done with this house forever.
Well, good riddance then, and mind you don't stumble on your way out.
Nana, Katie Nana,
Katie Nana's gone, and is it any wonder? Driven, hefty, mended by your children's pranks.
Do you really think I made another blunder? What on earth am I to say to Mr. Banks? George, dear, I'm feeling so bereft, dear. Another nanny's left, dear. Every nanny goes, we're unlucky, I suppose. You're never going to find the perfect nanny.
Nonsense! Precision and order, that's all that I ask. Running of a household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, they're all your domain, whilst I remain the sovereign of Cherry Tree Lane. Count. The simple truth is you've engaged 6 nannies in the last 4 months, and they've all been unqualified disasters. A nanny should govern, a nanny should rule. A nanny is a paragon who suffers no fool. A nanny's a stalwart our children would gain by having such a nanny in Cherry Tree Lane. So take control of situations. Show your authority when interviewing staff. You know your role, they know their stations. Efficiency and forethought cut the jobs in half. Briefcase!
Well, I thought Katie Nana would be firm with the children. She always looked so hot.
Winifred, never confuse efficiency with a liver complaint. Umbrella!
If only we could find someone like your old nanny.
I'm afraid that's not realistic, my dear. Few women alive could manage Miss Andrews' standards of efficiency. Besides, we could never afford someone of her caliber.
Precision and order, he wants nothing less. It's like an army barracks.
Yes, and we're in the mess.
No wonder the nannies are driven insane. We're living in a madhouse in Cherry Tree Lane.
Now, Winifred, if you do want to please...
You know I do, George.
Very well. then place an advertisement in the Times stating that Jane and Michael Banks require the best possible nanny at the lowest possible wage.
We better give them ours before they make another mistake.
I would stress
Father,
that...
What's that you're holding,
we
dear?
must not own advertisement.
What on
Oh,
earth?
please, George, I think we should hear it.
Now, Winifred, none of your
Well, it
theatrics.
won't hurt to listen.
Wanted a nanny for two adorable children.
Adorable. Well, that's debatable, I must say.
You want this choice position, have a cheery disposition, rosy cheeks, no warts. That's part that I put in. Play games, all sorts. You must be kind, you must be witty, very sweet and very pretty.
All ridiculous.
Please.
Take us on outings, give us treats. Sing songs, bring us sweets. Never be cross or cruel, never feed us castor oil or gruel. Blah! Love us as a son and daughter, and never spurn a barley water. I put that too. If you won't scold and dominate us, we will never give you cause to hate us. We won't hide your spectacles so you can't see. Put toads in your bed, put pepper in your tea. Hurry, nanny, many thanks, sincerely, Jane and Michael Banks.
Tommyrot for one day. Now, will you please go upstairs and let me get to work?
We were only trying to help.
It won't help anyone to make me late. Where's my hat?
George, dear.
Hat!
I thought you put it down here.
Hat!
I'm sure a bowler hat can't simply disappear.
You think you'll find a nanny who
Here it is.
doesn't run away.
It's perfect with boot polish.
Precision and order, that's all that matters. The running of the household, a straightforward task. The children, the servants, are all your domain.
As I remain the sovereign monarch.
You remain the sovereign.
After all, 6 o'clock, sharp.
He remains the sovereign.
Our cherries free.
Good morning.
Yes?
I've come in answer to the advertisement.
What advertisement? We haven't placed an
George
advertisement.
and Winifred Banks live here, do they not?
Mr. and Mrs.
And you
Banks.
are looking for a nanny.
Well, yes, but...
Well then, now let's see. Ah. Play games, all sorts, which I most certainly can. Take us on outings, give us treats.
Michael, it's advertisement.
Rosy cheeks and fairly pretty. There's no objection on that score, I hope.
Oh, no, not at all.
I'm glad to hear it.
We'll take it up with Mrs. Banks. She runs all that side of things. Nothing domestic has anything to do with me. And don't forget the references.
I make it a rule to never give references.
But I thought you was usual.
A very old-fashioned idea to my mind. The best people never require them now.
I see. Well, you shall have every third Thursday evening off from 5 until 9.
The best people give every second Wednesday from 6 till 8, ma'am, and that is what I shall take.
Oh, I see. Well, it's all settled then.
As long as I am satisfied, I'll see the children now, thank you.
Oh, yes, of course. You'll find they're very nice children. Now, this is...
Mary Poppins. Jane, don't stare, and close your mouth, Michael. We are not a codfish. Best foot forward, spit spot.
Mrs. Brill, we have a new nanny.
She passed the interview then.
Or I did.
Very tidy, I must say. Tidier than I was expecting. Who's responsible for that?
Mrs. Bree, I am. I like to keep things nice and neat.
Do you indeed? I look forward to making use of that. If there's one thing I appreciate, it's a child whose word I can depend on. Now, who's he when he's at home?
That's Valentine. He's mine.
By the look on his face, I'm not sure he'd agree with you.
He's just a doll, and I don't want to play with him now.
Treat him like that, and he might not want to play with you. Now, first things first, I always say the proper place to hang a hat is on a hat stand. Yeah? Perfect.
There's nothing in it. We better keep an eye on this one. She's tricky. Mary Poppins, how could you know what we wanted in a nanny when we made our list?
Your list? Oh, I'm not an item in a weekly shop, thank you very much.
Well, how did you come then? It was as if the wind just blew you here.
It did. Now stand over there. Just as I thought, a noisy, mischievous, troublesome little boy.
You're making that up. A noisy...
Now you. Thoughtless, short-tempered, and untidy.
I don't believe you.
By the time the wind has blown, the weather vane around, I'll show you, if I can. No matter what the circumstance, for one thing I'm renowned. My character is spit, spot, spick, and span.
What's your measurement, Mary Poppins?
I'm practically perfect in every way.
Practically perfect.
So people say. Each virtue virtually knows no bound. Each trait is great and patently sound. I'm practically perfect from head to toe. If I had a fault, it would never dare to show. I'm so practically perfect in every way. Oh, lovely. Prim and proper and never too stern. Well educated, yet willing to learn. I'm clean and honest, my manner refined. And I wear shoes of the sensible kind. I suffer no nonsense, and whilst I remain, there's nothing else I feel I need explain. I'm practically perfect in every way. Practically perfect, that's my forte. Uncanny man is hard to find. Unique yet meek, unspeakably kind. I'm practically perfect, not slightly soiled. Running like an engine that's just been freshly oiled. I'm so practically perfect in every way. Well, there's my credentials. Perhaps you have a few questions.
Not temperamental.
No.
Not grouchy or
The
gruff.
very thought.
Will you stay tender when the going gets
Quite
tough?
the contrary.
Do you read stories without a big fuss? Or have objections to playing with us?
Oh, I like games, but I choose.
But they're not fair.
Some minor improvements may not go amiss, but at all times you must remember this.
You're practically perfect in every way.
I guarantee
Practically perfect. We hope you'll stay.
each virtue virtually knows no bound. Each trait is great.
And Peterly sound.
Spit spot.
works, and I likes what I do. Today, I'm a screever, and as you can see, a screever's an artist of highest degree, and it's all me own works from me own memory.
How long enough days again?
Come on, Mr. Parkkeeper, it just be pictures like it always is. There's no harm in them.
I'll be the judge of that. This is my park, and I say you're interfering with a public toilet. I want these taken down. Watch it, just you watch it.
Stay right where you are. I know that silhouette anywhere. Mary Poppins.
Oh, it's nice to see you, Bert.
Well, I must say you do look swell.
How does he know you? He can't know you. You've only just arrived.
I wasn't born 1 minute before I walked into your house, Michael Banks. Have you met these two, Bert?
I've seen them running about chasing a kite.
It isn't a real kite.
So what you up to?
Mary Poppins says it's a game. It's called the Walk in the Park. Some game. I'd rather eat spinach.
Come on, Bert. You're due for a break, and you promised you'd take me out when we met again, or have you forgotten?
Of course I ain't Mary, but
Oh dear, is that all you've got? Never mind. My treat. And no one's charging for the trees and the sky, now are they?
Mary Poppins, is he really coming with us?
Why shouldn't he?
About to start with, he's very dirty, isn't he? Father would never approve.
what's that?
You can't come with us, you're too dirty! And we don't want to go to the stinky park anyway.
Oh, yes, you do. Because when you walk with Mary Poppins, you go to places you never dreamed of. And if she says it's a game, she's got something in mind. You can be certain of that.
This is a picture of the park, isn't it? That's not the park. Not our park, anyway. Look, the trees are much brighter green. The sky is a quite different blue.
I think you'll find it's just the way I've drawn it. All that it takes is a spark. Then something plain as a park becomes a wonderland. All you have to do is look anew, then you'll understand why it's a jolly old day with Mary. Mary makes your heart so light.
Oh, really?
When the day is grey and ordinary, Mary makes the sunshine bright.
You did talk about trees, Bert.
Oh, happiness is blooming all around us. The daffodils are smiling at the dark.
Things I do what?
When Mary holds your hand, you feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band.
You've enough brass for all of us.
Oh, it's a jolly old day with Mary. No wonder that it's Mary that we love. Come on, you two.
Boring, just like other dandies thinking. Parks are good for us. It's just statues, nuts, and grannies. I don't understand all the fuss. Is she doing it to spite us? We could lose it for a laugh. Perhaps it's all a plot. I'll tell you what, she seems so different, but I bet she's not. There is nothing to excite us in the park. What was that?
You're quite wrong, you know.
Who are you?
I'm Neely's. Surely you know that. You sat beneath me often enough. I've waited half a century to take a walk on a lovely day like this.
Ain't it a glorious day, bright as the morning in May.
I feel like I could fly.
I've never seen the grass so green, or a bluer sky.
Oh, it's a jolly old day with Mary. Better days I've never known.
And ask for castles that you bury.
Nothing's ever set in stone.
Morning, Mary.
You do look tip-top, if I may say so.
Thank you, Bert, and
Each girl with the dog pedagogue. To see a statue take a gentle jog. Oh, it's a jolly holiday with Mary. No wonder that it's Mary that we love.
It's a jolly holiday with you, but gentlemen like you are few. Though you're just a diamond in the rough, but underneath your blood is blue. You'd never think of pressing your advantage. Forbearance is the hallmark of your creed. A lady needn't fear when you are near. Your sweet gentility is crystal clear.
It's crystal clear.
Oh, it's a jolly holiday with you.
It's a jolly holiday.
A jolly, jolly holiday with you.
Go for a jaunty saunter. We are bound to make the mark. Looks like one of us were born to take a promenade in the park. Let's go for a jaunty saunter. We are bound to make the mark. Looks like one of us were born to take a promenade in the park. Fine riches of features, can look down the road. When Mary holds your hand, you feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band. It's a jolly holiday, what a day to Mary that we love. How wonderful is Mary that we
Jane, did that really just happen? Yes, but how?
Mary Poppins, of course.
How do you know Mary Poppins?
She's an old friend of my father's.
Your father? You're a statue. You can't have a father.
Well, if that's true, then why do I miss him so much?
Isn't he one of the other statues?
No, he lives very far away from here.
Do you really miss him?
Well, wouldn't you miss your father if you hardly ever saw him?
I'll have to think about that.
That's it. That's what it is.
What?
This prince half empty. There's a statue missing.
Do you mean to say you've lost your marbles?
This is your fault, Patrick. I knew we should have trouble with you once you arrived, and now there's a... Oh, Lordy.
Will you play with us again?
Of course. I'm not going anywhere.
Then we'll see you soon. Goodbye, Nelius.
Goodbye.
Nelius must be so lonely. Could his father ever come to stay?
Anything can happen if you let it.
How long will you stay?
We'll see.
You won't leave us, will you, Mary Poppins?
I'll stay until the wind changes. Now run away.
Good night, Jane. Good night, Michael. Good night, Mary.
Good night.
Jane and Michael want to say goodnight.
Tell them you've given me the message.
George, please.
Hey, Daddy, we've had a fantastic day. We sang with a basket down to the statue. We've been met by Victoria. We went to approve.
If you know that, then why did you do it?
Daddy, can I have a kite? A proper one?
Can you fly it?
Well, you can always teach me.
When will I have time to do that?
Daddy, who was the father of Nelius?
Would you let me get on? Good night.
Poor Michael. All he cares about is flying kites. And his beloved astronomy, of course.
I used to love astronomy at his age. My nanny, Miss Andrews, beat it out of me.
I suppose we do need a nanny, George. It is quite out of the question to do without one.
Don't be absurd. Of course we need a nanny. All the best people have nannies, so that the wives can do charity work and entertain. Which reminds me, how's your tea party coming on?
Oh, I'm not sure. It seems so odd to send out invitations to people I hardly know.
But the people you should know. Remember, by your friends shall ye be judged.
Yes, but that's just the point. They're not my friends. Actually, I heard today from Clemmy Bunting. She's rehearsing a new play at the moment, and I thought I might ask her.
How many times must I tell you? I wish you to sever all connection with that part of your life.
George, I was an actress. Lots of people might find that interesting. Oh, you always talk as if I should be ashamed of it.
Well, it's not exactly something to be proud of. Winifred, dearest, I'm only thinking of you. I want people to admire you, to respect you.
I know, George, but sometimes it's hard.
It's not hard. It's your job to be Mrs. Banks.
And what's your job?
To pay for everything. What is it?
Well, I was only going to kiss you.
Ah, all right. Are you going to say something to Mary Poppins about this afternoon?
I don't think so.
Very well. But just be sure she's doing things our way and not hers. What good are rules if you can bend them? We need a nanny who is disciplined and stern. Boys and girls need to befriend them. I fear that Mary Poppins has a lot to learn.
Being Mrs. Banks should be an easy role, and yet it's one which I don't seem too good at on the whole. I have a comfy home, I have a simple life, I have a name which tells the world I'm someone else's wife. Being Mrs. Banks, what does that entail? Facing tests of character, I always seem to fail. And as for his best people, well, I'd like to say no thanks. They're not exactly my idea of being Mrs. Banks.
I still feel as if I'm dreaming. So much fun in just one day when Mary holds your hand. You feel so grand. Your heart starts beating like a big brass band. I'm sure Cornelius is beaming. Let's hope she will stay.
Let's hope
She will
Precision and wonder.
Winds do change, tides do turn, sink or swim, see what you learned. Me, I was told when I was small, just learn a trade, so I learned them all. Chim chimney, chim chim.
Morning, Bert! Swabbing the decks today, I see.
Gotta keep the street ship shape, Admiral.
Tell me, how are things aboard number 17? All plain sailing with Mary Poppins, I trust.
There's some rough weather on every voyage, Admiral.
Ah, Miss Lodge, what those children need is a touch of the cat and a night on the yard.
What those children need, Admiral, is a touch of happiness. Yes, Willoughby agrees.
Don't make the sandwiches too early. They'll get stale before the guests arrive.
Everything's under control, ma'am.
Oh,
on the trains waiting to be iced.
And you're quite sure you know how to ice it?
Quite sure. And in case you're worried, I have not been exchanged by the fairies for a total nincompoop.
Oh, no.
No!
Well, I'll just go up and check the drawing room then.
I would like to be helpful.
And I'd like to be rich, but the good Lord thought otherwise.
Mother wants in the drawing room.
She can't have me. I have enough on my plate as it is.
She says you can tell Roberts and I what to do.
Does she indeed? Well, maybe I should go have a smoke near the gasworks for good measure.
Oh, please, Mrs. Brill. I don't mind. Honest.
All right, I'll give you one task, and one task only. And if you guess it wrong, I will swing for you and sing as they pull the lever.
What is it, Mrs. Brill?
Put the icing tools next to the cake, and I'll need a bowl of hot water to warm them. I will make the icing as soon as I'm back.
Icing tools, cake, hot water. I will make the icing as soon as I'm back.
Now, do you think you can manage that?
Is that all?
For you, yes. For me, no. After the cake is done, I have the sandwiches next because Madame wants them fresh, and I can't start them till there's no time to finish them. I swear a slave in ancient Rome was on a pleasure cruise compared to my life in this house.
Well, don't just stand there, Roberts and I.
Right. No, I mean,
What are you looking for?
a bowl full of water.
Michael, why don't we make the icing? Because we don't know how! Don't be so feeble. Get the eggs. If Mrs. Will can do it, it can't be that hard. Other eggs and icing? They're on mine.
I don't think Mrs. Brill is going to thank you.
Then she will be guilty of great ingratitude.
Is it supposed to look like this?